Hi everyone, it's Clyde at Vibrant Soap, and you're going to love this video because Clyde makes another mistake. And actually the point of this whole video is not to show that I get everything right every single time. It's all about teaching and learning from mistakes. So if I make the mistake and share them with you, then it could prevent you from making the same mistake. And it's not a horrible mistake because the soap still turned out great. And as a matter of fact, it kind of added to the look of the soap. I kind of like how it turned out. What it has to do about is the amount of soap. So I went to Soap Calc and I thought, you know, I am making a confetti soap, so I'm going to be really smart about it. I'm not going to have a lot of extra soap batter because I didn't take into account the soap shavings that I used as the confetti. So I weighed it and I had 8 ounces of confetti. So I thought, oh, I'll just subtract that in Soap Calc and I'll have just the right amount. Except the mistake I made was I subtracted about 8 ounces of the total oils and thinking that I'll have the perfect amount. Well, what I didn't take into account was when you subtract the amount of oils, that means that you use in proportion less of your other ingredients too. So instead of having about 8 ounces less of the soap batter, I ended up with something like over 12 ounces less. So you're going to see that this soap is a little more squat and a little shorter. So I'll be selling these for a proportionate amount less on my website. And it's a beautiful soap because I didn't take into account that there would be less batter, but there's a whole bunch of confetti in it, so it's really packed with confetti. So anyway, I want to share that with you right now. Probably won't go into much detail once I'm making it because my mind's too busy trying to recover from what went wrong, and I kind of figured it out. So I'm slow, but I do eventually get it, and I wanted to share that with you. So let's get on with the soap making, and if you want to see a little color tutorial, then just hit that little I and let's get on with it. Okay, so I'm ready to make some more soap, and here's my oils and clay as usual. It's a smaller recipe because I'm going to be adding a lot of confetti soap to this. So what I did was I weighed my confetti that I'm going to use, and I lowered my oil amount so that it would accommodate that. And I'm going to blend all of this first before I add the lye. And I'm soaping at about 70 degrees. Okay, there's a lot of parts to this soap and I don't want to mess up, so I'm just going to really be careful. I don't have to move too fast, but some parts are not going to get fragranced and some parts are going to get a blending with some confetti, and then I'm going to fold in some confetti. So let's see if I can remember what I was going to do. I have my notes, but still caught in the moment sometimes I make a little mistake. So let's get this to an emulsified state first. That is emulsified already. Okay, so let me stir that out. There's less batter, so it grabs some of the air and gets some bubbles in there. Okay, so let me pour off what I'm going to use for the white, since I am going to call this frosted confetti berry. Just a little bit. And get some of my titanium dioxide in there already. Add my fragrance to this part. I don't spill it first. Stir that in a little bit. And I'm going to lighten this part a little bit too. There's a fragrance in here. This is a mix of mine, but one of the fragrances does get a little brown, so I want to lighten that up a little bit. Get a little of my blue purple mix in there, just a little. I don't want it really dark to compete with the confetti. And I'm going to blend that. Just going to blend this a little bit first. Just a little bit, because I'm going to blend half of my confetti with this so I get a finer confetti, and then I'm going to mix in some unblended graffiti too, so I'll have a mix in there. And I'm going to stir out some of the bubbles. I needed a big bowl so that when I stir in the confetti that just doesn't overflow, but when you have a shallow amount of batter, you do get bubbles in it. You can see all those little specks of fine graffiti in there. Okay, then get the rest of the confetti folded in there. And then this part is ready to pour. Let me see, I want this set up a little bit before I pour the white. I do like those little furrows that make a nice top when you put the white on there. And I can see my confetti start to show up a little. Good. I'm stirring out the bubbles in this white part. And let's pour that in there. Trying to not get it to the edges, because when I use a spoon, I want some of that purple to be pulled up. Okay, so I noted that the batter is a real pale purple on the bottom. It's almost a gray purple, and that's okay because I have the graffiti to brighten it up. But I do want to, you'll see what I'm going to do, but I want to make sure that I bring some of this up first, grabbing some of that purple down below. But as long as I have some mica here, I'm going to put a dot of it in each area, just to add a little more brightness. And remember, splashes of brightness show up better against a pale background. I'm not worried that there's not going to be any color in this, just because that graffiti doesn't show until you cut it. Okay. And I can go in again. Good. Okay, so here is my frosted confetti berry. And I think I'm going to also clean up the sides a little bit too. So that's what the top looks like, and we'll bring you back for the cut. Alright, I want to see what this looks like. It smells really good. And you notice that they're pretty squat in size. So I'll be selling these bars for less. But I like all that graffiti in there. So there's the end piece, and I really like how that turned out. Some things went south on me a little bit on this, and I'll be telling you about that a little bit in the intro, where it really belongs. But I really like how it turned out. So I'm going to be selling these for less than the full-size bars. I'm not going to make an effort to make them any wider of a cut. I think that some people might like to sample my soap with less cost, but this is really jam-packed with the two different sizes of confetti, because some I blended so they got broken up in the mix a bit more, and some I put in just as they were, as soap shavings. But I think it integrates pretty well. So you probably would have already heard me talk about this in the intro, but yeah, just be aware that just looking at soap calc and lowering the amount of oils that you use does not diminish the whole volume like you think it would be. So it's an easy mistake, but I'm telling you this so that you don't do it yourself. And that is to adjust the batch size rather than the oil amount, because this really became less soap than I was counting on. But it's, it makes you think when you do these things that, wow, should I offer a smaller bar so that people can sample? And what about the shape? Is a little different. It feels nice in the hand. So I want to learn from my mistakes. And as long as I'm still making good soap, because the ratios of all the oils to water to lye and all that are still in proportion to each other, it's just a smaller soap than I was originally thinking. But and the other thing, of course, is that between the fragrance and the little bit of purple that I thought I was going to get, a really subtle purple, actually turned gray, but that it's a nice gray, and it really shows off the confetti. So I'm really liking that. really haven't made intentionally a gray soap. But, you know, if you're going to keep in the theme of this, like winter and things turn gray and still have a pop of color, I'm really liking this. It does still look festive. It's also a good way not to waste your soap, because I had soap shavings that I always hold on to and make. Usually one of the things I do with those shavings is to use them myself in a soap bag, but I also keep some to use when I make confetti soap. There's the top. And this really smells wonderful. I think also this would have been less successful without the white top to add some brightness to it as well. Plus the glitter helps. So visit the website just to look around, and got a lot of offerings there. And that was my last cut. Thanks for watching too, guys. It's so nice to hear from you and get the subscriptions. And show you my soap. Okay, everyone take care, and we'll see you for the next video. Bye, everybody. And I don't hide the mistakes. I'm going to share them with you so that you don't make the mistakes too. And it's kind of a understandable mistakes. Oh my God. And it's kind of a